Hi, I'm Bill Oakes. I'm the director of the EPICS program at Purdue University. Also a faculty member here in the College of Engineering in the School of Engineering Education. I tell people I was trained in mechanical engineering. I got 3 degrees in mechanical engineering. Before my PhD, I was a jet engine designer. Loved designing jet engines, working in aviation. Left that career because I thought I could make an impact helping to train future engineers in the classroom. If you were to tell me at that point, when I left my job at GE, that I was going to be designing toys for children with disabilities and working with other things that work in EPICS, honestly, I would have laughed at you. Actually, I would have said that that's not real engineering, and what I wanted to do was to train students in real engineering. The first semester I was hired as a faculty member at Purdue, I was assigned to the EPICS class, and that experience totally flipped my thinking. I wanted to bring authentic engineering experiences into the classroom. That's what motivated me to leave that job I loved and to come to the university. What I didn't know is what it was going to look like. And when I got into that EPICS class, what I saw was students were actually doing engineering and not learning about it. The kinds of things that they were doing, the kinds of discussions that they were having were exactly what I wanted to have them have to prepare them for later. Actually, they were the same kind of conversations we had as design engineers. And what I realized was the piece that I didn't connect was the fact that the students were working on something for a real person that acted like a real customer. So when I used to sponsor projects in industry, we had the answers. We never gave the students the critical pieces, the mission critical things, but our social service agencies, our schools give us those things that they really need, and they don't have another option. They also don't fully understand what they need until they see it. And often when they see it, an early prototype, they're like, well, now that we see it, it needs to be changed a little bit. This freaks our students out. And it makes me reflect back to say that's exactly what used to happen with our customers. They really didn't understand until they saw ours, or worse, if they saw something from a competitor they liked better, that was a risk. We had to understand what the clients, the customers needed. And that's what EPICS does. And I have come full circle. I really believe that service learning is the best way to train future engineers. It engages students in things that they care about. It allows them to care about something passionately and connect that to what they're learning in the classroom. It forces them to actually design something that's going to be used. Too often I see projects, whether it's at middle school, high school, even at the university, where students get to do something that sits on a table. Maybe it needs to work once when someone tests it. But that's not real engineering. Things have to work well consistently. If you get on a plane, you don't want it to work just once. Maybe if you're only taking one flight. But we want it to work over and over again, and it has to work completely. How many times do you give students, 90%'s an A, and we clap? You wouldn't want to get on an airplane. You wouldn't want to get connected to a cardiac machine that was 90% finished. It has to work completely, and that's what we engage students in. You also want students working on something that matters, where they get passionate about. And when students are working to solve a need for a child with disability, they get passionate. I also have gotten convicted how much capital, time, effort, money, resources we have in our universities, colleges, and schools that could be leveraged to benefit the community. What a difference it would make if every school, every college, every university had students looking at how do we learn math and science better, and we want to produce something that's going to make the community better. It can make a huge impact. And we're leaving that all on the table, and the ironic thing is that's a better way for students to learn. Final thing I tell a lot of the students, one of the key things about being an engineer is you have to understand your customers and other people that may not have engineering degrees, maybe no degree at all. When I was a design engineer, I learned so much by finding ways to engage the hourly workers on the floor. They taught me a lot about our designs, but I had to earn their respect. Service learning puts students out in the community where they need to listen, and they start to learn to respect others that look different. Now, I said that was a final thing, but I have one more. In engineering, we have talked, I came into engineering education more than 2 decades ago. And the issues we're talking about them is we don't have enough women, we don't have enough students of color, we're not drawing from underrepresented areas and lower socioeconomic populations. The current discussions are those same issues. We've hardly moved the needle. And the literature and the diversity areas are clear, is you have to find ways to actively engage students and engage things that matter to them. And overwhelmingly, it says service learning does that. I laugh now because when I left the job, actually at Purdue, I came to Purdue for my PhD. And the faculty were starting the EPICS program, and I went to one of the early presentations. And I said, that's not really engineering. 2 years later, I was assigned to teach the class. And it took 2 weeks for my mind to be flipped. And I've been part of EPICS ever since. And I'm fully convinced that service learning is the way to do it. And if you're watching this, I hope that means that you're thinking about service learning and would give it a try.